Welcome back to Kim Daly TV. In this video, I want to talk to you about what you could do over the next 3, 5, 10 years of your life that's gonna go by anyway, but to dramatically change your financial position, your quality of life, to have ultimate control and freedom in your life. Now, I want to say this video is not intended to be any kind of financial advice or any kind of financial planning. I just want to share some ideas to help spark the inspiration in you, to help you understand how truly wealthy people are building wealth every single day. They're people that you know, they're people that I know. Before we get into it, in case you're new to my channel, my name is Kim Daly. I'm a franchise consultant. I've spent the last 22 years helping people just like you invest in franchise businesses by matching their background, interests, skills, finances, and life goals to the best franchise opportunities out there today. So if you stick with me to the end of the video, I'm going to share how you could be my next candidate. Okay, so let's talk about really building wealth using business ownership through franchising. So many times candidates sit on the sideline of life. They sit on the sideline and they try to figure out every move and how this is going to go. And consequently, they never get in the game. What I've learned as an investor who's in the game is that the opportunities, the doors, if you will, started to open once I was in the game. Okay? The first paradigm shift that you have to make is where you stop trading your time for money, building somebody else's dream. You have to have that conviction inside of you that business ownership is the way to true financial freedom. Look, 90% of millionaires own their own business. Why? Because business ownership is the way. So even in a portfolio of diversified assets, the center of that portfolio is typically business cash flowing returns. So you may have a diversified portfolio in the next 10 years, but your biggest ROIs are going to come from your business assets. Now, franchising allows you to buy down the learning curve, getting into that business ownership game while mitigating the startup risks, right? Because you're partnering yourself with people who are going to train you and coach you and support you. Okay? So that's why I'm an advocate of franchising. Franchising completely changed my life. I was the entrepreneur for 5 years. I've been a franchisepreneur for 22 years. The reason I've remained in franchising for 22 years, I've been a lot more successful when I had the support of people around me to guide me and coach me and mentor me and put wind in my sails, right? Because as economies change and the competitive landscape changes, your business is always changing. And when you're out there on your own, trying to navigate all of those changes by yourself, it is a daunting task. It is the reason that entrepreneurship is so hard and very few entrepreneurs ever really become successful. But in franchising, that statistic that we all know about business failure is not a thing. And that's because we're surrounded with people who can support us and coach us and mentor us. This is a collaborative environment, okay? So I want you to first make the paradigm shift that business ownership is the way, not just for me, not just for the other guy, but for you. It's the way for everybody. And wealth that is created is always created through scale. So you make your first investment into a business that gets you into the game. That first business is going to teach you the most amount. You're going to grow rapidly, personally, professionally, and hopefully financially. But the financial gain is less important in the first business than the personal and the professional growth, because you're only going to be able to receive money in any business to the extent that you learn how to give, as the owner of a business, whether that's giving to your employees who are the face of your business, or whether that's serving your actual customer, giving to your actual customer because you're directly interfacing with the customer. Whatever the learning curve is, you as the CEO of this business, as the owner, have to be willing to go through the growth. And when you grow, and you're able to serve at a certain level, then you will receive the financial return. But the first business, it's like this is a playground and you're getting onto the playground and you're learning how to play, but it's not going to be the end all be all. Now, it will be the end all be all if you fail, but failure in business ownership, especially in franchising, can be completely avoided. Yeah, if you work with someone like me and you invest in the right business, one that you can comfortably afford, that matches your skills, and then you commit to showing up for your goals every single day, through our 1 to 2 month process of working together, I'm going to teach you through my own story how failure can be avoided. Okay, so we're going to take failure off the table here. Now, again, this is not legal advice. I'm not telling you that you're never going to fail. Don't say that, or don't take that away from this video. The point is that there are ways to mitigate the risks of failure, and I can teach you what they are. I can't guarantee that you won't fail. Only you can guarantee that you won't fail by showing up for your business. Okay, so you're in the game. You bought the business cash flowing return. You're willing to go through the growth personally and professionally to then get the financial return. So now you're going to realize during your due diligence with me that the real wealth that you really want, like making maybe it's 300,000 or $500,000, or maybe you dream big, you want $1 million EBITDA business. It's not going to come from one location of anything, even a McDonald's, people. Okay. So it's always going to be built through scale. So just like if you were a real estate investor, your portfolio would not be represented by one house or one apartment. It would be, how do I multiply my time across multiple roofs? That's where the wealth is created. If you own stocks, it's typically not one stock. It's a portfolio of stocks, because while some are underperforming, others are performing. Well, the same thing is going to be true in your business portfolio as well. So once you get in the game, what you're going to find is that opportunities start to find you. This is why when you're on the sideline trying to figure out how you're going to build this, you get stuck, because you're trying to do it in a linear fashion. But when you get into the game and the opportunities start coming to you, you're going to realize they can compound very quickly. And there may be some exponential growth that you may realize. What does that mean, Kim? What it means is, let's say that you buy some sort of home services business, maybe a landscaping business. And you're out there working in your community, building your franchise business, and a mom and pop landscaping company decides they're going to sell. And they come to you because they see your trucks around town and they say, hey, do you want to buy my business? And maybe they're willing to offer you seller financing. So you could walk in, take over all of these existing clients for basically no cash out of your pocket. Like, that's what I mean by opportunities find you when you're in the game. And this is not linear growth. You cannot plan for this from the sideline. Another thing that happens sometimes is you get into the franchise and maybe some of your neighbors are just not able to figure it out. Or maybe they go through a health crisis or a divorce and the business has to be sold. And so where do they turn when they're ready to sell their business? They look at you. They think, do you want to buy my business? And oftentimes when life events change people's minds about business ownership, they're not looking to cash out for some big multiple of their EBITDA. They're just looking to unwind the business and get rid of it for something. So you may be able to acquire neighboring locations at what we would call a fire sale. But again, you can't plan for that and predict that when you're on the sideline. You have to get in the game. And in fact, this exact scenario happened to one of my candidates who got into a franchise very early. They were selling all kinds of franchises, and the franchisor had one model, which they called a semi-absentee model. As it really turned out, once owners got in there, it was the owners that were running the business full time that were actually succeeding. So there was a lot of people who bought into this semi-absentee business, and then they figured out, I really have to put in more time than I wanted to put in, so I don't want to do this. I want to sell my business. Well, my candidate was one who was willing to go in full time. He figured out the sales process, he mastered it, and little by little, he started acquiring these neighboring franchisees' territories and all of their equipment. And then he started jumping states and acquiring more territories and more equipment. In a very short amount of time, he was exponentially able to grow. Do you see that? So what's funny is this particular franchisee referred one of his friends to me, and his friend came to me and said, well, I want to do what he's doing. And I'm like, you can't plan for that. You have to get in the game, right? And then let the doors open, let the opportunities come, because it might not look exactly the same as it looked for him. It could be, again, that mom and pop business decides to sell, or you go looking for a mom and pop business that you can buy out as the franchise in what we call a conversion, right? That happens in all different types of industries. So the takeaways from this video, this is what I want you to take away. Business ownership is the way to true financial freedom. You must be in control of the cash flow and the growth, personal and professional growth by you that then allows you to have the cash flow. And then the wealth is created through scale. Sometimes it's multiple units of the same franchise. Sometimes it's through acquisitions of other businesses in your local area once you're in the game. Sometimes it's by acquiring other locations of the same business from other owners who, for whatever reason, want out. And there are many, many other ways that your exponential growth will come to you. So I'm going to end this video by telling you a personal story from my life. So I got into this alternative investing world 4 years ago, right? I used to put money into my self-employed pension plan, right? That's what everybody did. I met these truly wealthy people, and they're not putting money away for tomorrow. They're building cash flowing assets. So as I started leaning in, listening and learning, I asked one of them to mentor me. He said, you got to stop putting money in that self-employed pension plan and put it to work for you, because that money is there and it's untouchable. But if you can go put it into cash flowing assets that are going to generate that cash flow and create tax advantage for you, all while building equity also that will make an exit strategy sometime later in the future. But you can generate more cash flow than you need to live off of, then you can deploy that cash flow into more assets. I said, okay, this totally makes sense. So that's what I started to do. I didn't take money out of my SEP. I just stopped putting any more money into it. So what was in there is in there, and that's just going to grow and do its thing. But I did go after the money that I had in a stock portfolio, and I started siphoning that out, looking for good cash flowing assets where I could learn personally and professionally and then get the financial return. Now, have I made some bad investments? You better believe I have. That's part of the game, but it's okay. I never bet more than I can lose, right? That's where people go wrong. They invest in businesses, they invest in things where they're top heavy, and then they're dying on the vine waiting for the cash flow. No, invest a little bit at a time. Figure out what kind of investments you like. Figure out what you're going to be good at. I know if I'm going to invest in a business, what the characteristics of my perfect business are. I also know what kind of businesses I don't want to be invested in. For example, this summer, I invested in an Amazon business with my children. That is not a business that intrigues me in any way, but my teenage boys love it because they don't have to talk to anybody. I, on the other hand, die on the vine without you to talk to. So there's a different type of investor for every type of investment. And in fact, that is why you come to me to help you select the right franchise. So I have this Amazon business with my kids, but I also invested in alternative investments. And here's where it gets good. So I started putting money in real estate syndication. I started learning about storage and I started putting money there, a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. I made an investment in oil and gas and got an awesome tax break from that investment, right? And now it's starting to produce some cash flow as well. So that's awesome. I'll take both of those. But while I'm in this mindset, looking for places to deploy cash, A business opportunity came to me that changed my life. Now, because I had cash flow coming in from other investments that I didn't need to live off of, I was able to take that cash and invest it into this opportunity. And all of these things together over a 4-year period retired me. So if I had continued to put money in my self-employed pension plan and put money in that stock market where I had no control, would I be able to say that I'm, quote, retired today? What is retired? Retired means I have more cash flow coming into my house than I need to live. So I don't have to come to work anymore. I don't have to make a video for you anymore. I want to. And you know what happens when you go from needing something to just wanting it? What happens? You actually have energy. You're motivated, right? Work is no longer work because it's my choice to show up. And this is what I want for you. And all of this happened in terms of retiring me in 4 years. Now, I've been on my business ownership journey for 25, 26, 27 years, I think even. But it doesn't matter how many years I've been in the game. I can teach you how to shorten that curve because I didn't know back then what I know now. And this is why I want to be your mentor, because I want to help mitigate those risks, shorten your learning curve, and get you to the fun part of money and time as quickly as possible. You got it? So I promised if you stayed to the end, I would tell you how you can be my next candidate. So I offer a free service that matches franchise opportunities to your background, interests, skills, finances, and life goals. All I need for you to do is follow the link below that will take you to my contact form. Fill that form out, and then we will be in contact with you ASAP. We will send you a getting started questionnaire, and then I personally will reach out to you to schedule time to talk to you, to learn about your goals, your dreams, your skills, what you're trying to build for you and your family. And that's where our conversation will begin. You have nothing to risk and everything to gain. 22 years of experience in the palm of your hand, and it's free. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to teach you everything that I know. This world that I'm talking about has changed my life. I want to help you change yours. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for staying till the end.